Here we go. Sure. All right. So as I said, I'm Rachel Swoboda. I work with the SBDC as a consultant, and I work to do one-on-one consulting to help with social media, to help with emails, websites, design, strategy, all of that. And I teach these webinars. So today we're going to talk about social media best kept secrets. We're going to talk about content calendaring. We can also answer questions that you guys might have along the way. So there's a little bit about SBDC. I think everybody here today knows about SBDC. So we're basically a team of business owners and marketing experts that are here to help you grow your businesses. So this is me. I've owned my company, Sunday Brunch. We're a marketing and PR firm. And I've been in the business for a long time, working with some of the biggest ad agencies in the world. So today I'm going to give you some best kept secrets that agencies are using that you can implement for your business too. So at the end of the meeting today, you're going to feel like you can develop a social media strategy with realistic goals. You can implement a content calendar for consistent posting that's going to increase sales for your business. And I'll teach you how to set a reasonable budget so that you can put money that in ways that's going to increase your ROI for your business. So, all right, as I get going, I'm just going to check the chat here real quick and make sure that I am, here we go. All right, popped that out. How often to post? So we're definitely going to talk about that. How to post the most efficiently, content calendaring seamless and natural rather than reactionary. Yes, we're definitely going to talk to you today about how to be proactive with this. And strategy for like general strategy for social media. I'll talk about that, but I want you guys to keep in the back of your mind as I'm talking to you and taking you through this today. If there's something you want to deeper dive on, like, yes, put it in the chat, but also you can reach out to Nancy or Roger at the SBDC and we can schedule a one-on-one consulting to do a deep dive into your business. So definitely feel free to reach out to Roger or Nancy specifically with that. Okay, I'm really grateful for all these hot topics that you guys want to cover today. So organizing content, absolutely. We're going to cover that. Efficiency. Okay, all right, I think I got it. All right, so first of all, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but social media use is on the rise around the world. So it's definitely a good investment of your time, which as a business owner is the most valuable resource that you have these days. There's never enough of it. So spending some time with social media is definitely worthwhile part of your business. So there we go. All right. These are the three areas we're going to talk about today. So first of all, I got to tell you, when a lot of businesses first go on social media, they think that's just going to be like the magic secret sauce that's going to blow up their business. I want you to remember that social media is just one of the tools in your tool chest, right? So you need to set a realistic goal. The number one goal of social media is to raise brand awareness, okay, and gather insights about your clients and customers. Okay. The second thing we're going to talk about today is driving engagement and participation, and then generating social conversations and sales leads from social media. So I want you to think about it in those steps. And along the way, we're going to cover some of the other questions. Okay. So diving into the first one. So like I said, number one goal of social media is to drive awareness. Okay. So are you doing these things with your social media? Is your profile up to date? And if not, then I want you to start a bullet point list of actionable items of things that you're going to do after this call, kind of like homework that you're going to take care of. So make sure your profile is up to date. That includes, like, for instance, are you using your logo as your profile photo? Is your website link in your bio? Is that there? Do you need a link tree service? Do you know what that is? Think about your bio and make sure that you're updating it. And I'm not talking about just on Instagram. I want to make sure that you're updating your bio on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook and on TikTok and on LinkedIn. So they all need to be operating and working together. Okay. with that in mind, the second thing is on brand. So I want you to think about the fact that, do you have brand guidelines? So that means, are you using the same logo on everything consistently? Are you using the same fonts? Are you using the same colors? Do you need to put together a brand guidelines that ensures that not only you, but other people who are touching and working on your business are using the same fonts, colors, logos, type of imagery consistently? I want you to answer me in the chat. How many of you do not have a brand guidelines? So put in the chat if you do not have a brand guidelines. Okay, all right. So the fact that we have at least one person who does not, okay, wow, 2, 3, 4, okay, more coming. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, and I'm gonna do this along the way here, is I'm gonna take a moment to show you guys what I mean when I say a brand guidelines, because some of you might think, oh yeah, of course I have one. And for those that don't, might think, oh, I've never seen one. Well, let's make sure that we at least all know what this looks like. And it is very important as a foundational piece of your brand. Now, we've done brand guidelines for, imagine a big brand like Toyota, right? Or Coca-Cola, right? They have giant brand guidelines that are hundreds of pages long. You, for your small business, probably need a brand guidelines that's at least 1 to 3 pages. So here, I'm going to switch screens here and show you an example of what a brand guidelines might look like for your business. Hang on a second. Just need to get a really clean example for you guys. We build these for all of our clients. Okay, so this is a beauty brand. So I'm going to stop my share over here, and I'm going to switch to a different screen so you guys can see this. Now, the name of this company is called Get Sugared. Okay, so they have a main symbol, which is the lips. They have a text treatment of how they use their the words, right? They have different colors, and they have the code for the colors, and then they have different fonts. So it can be very simple. It can be a 1-page document that just shows what your colors are and what your fonts are. And honestly, if you need help, if you sign up with the SBDC, we can actually work to help put one together for you. So me, or there are other people on the team that can work to do that for you. So that's one of the things that you would reach out to Nancy or Roger, and they would help you get in contact with one of us. Okay, so moving right along. So we made it through the second bullet, which was on brand. So now I want to talk about hashtags. So we're going to talk about hashtags a few times throughout this conversation, but hashtags are really important to bring other people to your business that don't know about your business already. Statistically, posts with hashtags get up to 80% more interactions. Every platform has a different amount of hashtags that it allows. Instagram allows up to 30 hashtags. That doesn't mean that you should use 30 hashtags. For instance, you should probably, I want you to think about it in groups of 3. You should have at least 3 hashtags that are specific to your company. So maybe that's like the name of the company, your tagline, maybe it's your name, and maybe it's a promotion that you're running. Then I want you to have 3 other hashtags that are about the industry that you're in. So for instance, let's say I own a pizza restaurant, okay? And the name of my pizza restaurant is Domino's, okay? So I'm gonna do hashtag Domino's, hashtag pizza as my industry one, and then I'm gonna have like hashtag like Friday night pizza or something, right? But maybe you want to have like 3 in each of those categories. So you want to make sure that you're using hashtags. And when I say that it's going to help grow your audience, what I mean is I want you to think of social media in terms of 3 phases. The first phase is you go online, you create and update your profile, and you invite your friends and family and people that know you, right, into your inner circle, right? And then from there, the next phase is, all right, you need to grow your audience outside of your circle. That's when you grow your awareness. That's the number one goal of social media. I'll say it many times. All right, how do you do that? Well, you do that by posting consistently. You do that by being on brand. You do that by using hashtags, right? Okay, and then the next phase is, once you're establishing your reputation in that space, then you want people to engage more with it. So that's kind of like, think about it like a pebble that goes into a lake, right? And those rings, those ripples continue to grow. So that's sort of what we're doing with social media. You drop that pebble into the lake, and as it starts to, the ripples start to grow, so does your awareness, so does your engagement, and eventually so do your sales. Okay. All right. Questions so far? Everybody with me? Okay. Now we're going to deep dive here a little bit more into the first ripple, which is that you've created a profile, you've updated your bio, and now you're going to share some valuable content that's on brand. You're going to be using hashtags. And so here are some pro tips. Okay. So let's go back to the example of the pizza restaurant. So maybe you want to share tips or ideas or expert knowledge about pizza. Maybe you've got special ingredients that you use. Maybe you have a special way of baking it. Maybe you have a special delivery method, special way. Maybe you, I don't know, chop all your vegetables in a special way, whatever it is, like something that's like why you're the best, right? Then maybe you also want to include videos with key leaders and other experts in your field. So maybe that's trying to get like a food writer or editor to come and eat at your restaurant from a local magazine and get them to talk about your business. The third one is maybe you want to talk about your company culture, your employee news. Maybe you made a new hire. Maybe you're celebrating someone's birthday, or someone had a work anniversary, right? It's like, or maybe you guys do something special that's charitable. Maybe you guys all go pick up trash at the beach, or maybe you're donating for Toys for Tots, or maybe you're donating food for a upcoming gala, right? So think about the different buckets of content that you can share. And this feeds into the content calendaring discussion. So I know you guys are all building bullet point lists of things that you're going to take away from this, that you're going to take as one of your homework items. But I'm going to give you another tool. I need something to write on. Hang on. Found it. Okay. Can everybody see me, by the way? I'm going to stop my sharing because I want to make sure that you can see me. And I think you can now. So I want you to think about like a tic tac toe board. Okay. So as you're thinking about content, I want you to think about filling in buckets. So maybe you've got a brand or company bucket. You've got a product bucket. You have a service bucket, culture, charity, trends in your industry, lifestyle, tips. So start thinking about all the different things that you could say about your business. Okay. So once you have your tic tac toe chart, this is going to actually translate into your content calendar. Okay. So stay with me. So now you've got your bullet lists, and you've got your tic tac toe, because you guys are all feverishly taking notes. I'm sure of it. Absolutely. All right. Going to go back to sharing my screen. All right. With that in mind, what does brand awareness success look like? So let's say you're like, Rach, I'm posting consistently on social media. I'm using my hashtags. I'm touching all of the different buckets of my tic tac toe chart. How do I know if I'm having success, right? Well, first of all, you're going to see success when you see your audience size start to increase. Okay. So you see people, now that you're posting consistently, the audience, the customers, the public is starting to develop a relationship with your brand. So you're going to see more follows, you're going to see more likes, and eventually you'll see more engagement. And that's something that we're going to talk more about in the next group, which is driving us right here to engagement. Okay. So engagement means that people are liking, commenting, sharing, and buying from you. So that ripple, that pebble that you threw into the lake, all of a sudden is growing with more people, and then more people, and they're having more engagement with you. So engage influencers. You hear a lot of talk about influencers these days. Influencers are anyone that people listen to. Imagine word of mouth, but it's on social media. Okay. That's all that influencers are. And for most of you, I don't want you to think about like celebrity influencers. I want you to think about the influencers in your community. People call these micro or nano influencers. This is like think back to high school and you had like the popular kids. These are the popular kids in your community. It's the soccer mom, the PTA president, the someone at church that like is in the midst of like all of the activities, right? People who know a lot of people in their small corner of the world. Okay. So that means that if you're going to post something or you want them to post something, let's say you have a chapstick company, and you could give free chapstick to everybody at the church and ask them all to post about it and tag you. Then all of a sudden you're engaging the influence of the people in your nano or micro communities, right? So there's value in that, because if everybody tells one person about you, then all of a sudden your audience is going to exceptionally grow and you're going to have many more customers. Okay. So the second thing, always ask for feedback. Now, this is something that when social media started, it was kind of, people were used to the one-way conversation of brands putting things out and talking at you. Then social media came through and it was like, oh no, they're going to talk with me. All right. But brands got sort of like lazy, or they had too much to do, or they only responded when people had a negative, feedback or review. I want you to think of this as a two-way dialogue. If you're talking with your customers, then that's a win and they're getting back to you. So on your to-do list of bullet point items, I want you to think about if you spent a little bit of time every day engaging on social media. And I'm not talking like setting a time limit. I'm saying, let's say every day this is the bullet point item. One of your jobs is to engage with 10 people on social media every day. 10 people. That is a reoccurring to-do list item on your list. So for instance, like let's look at a real life example. Let's say that I was asking you to talk to 10 strangers a day, right? That would be kind of hard to do, right? You're like, wow, I could talk to my dry cleaner or my barista at the coffee shop, but like, do I really see 10 people I don't know every day and actually talk to them? Probably not. And it would be kind of frightening to do so. But on social media, it's really easy. You find 10 people that are your target customer, reach out to them, like their page, comment on one of their photos, give it a thumbs up or a heart or a star or something. And they're going to be like, oh, why is this brand engaging with me? Oh, this is really cool. So it's a really doesn't take long. It's not even going to take 10 minutes. But if you do 10 people every day, all of a sudden after 30 days, 40 days, look at how many more people are going to know about your brand just because you took the time to engage with them. And then maybe they start following you. Maybe you want to do a post like, hey, if you're new to my brand, what do you think about it? Or what do you like about this post? How many of you guys are on TikTok right now? Put it in the chat. I'm curious. And the reason I'm asking is because on TikTok, people are really good about this. The content creators out there at the end of their videos are often 90% of the time, they're telling you what they want you to do. They're like, leave me a comment, send me a DM, go check out this, give me a comment. On the other platforms, people have been more shy about asking for feedback. So I want you to think about asking your audience to engage with you. And this is universally across all the platforms. Now, I'm glad that we're talking about TikTok because I know that's not our primary focus for today, but it is a video first platform. And if you switch your brain to start thinking about video first, then you're going to have content that you can use across all the platforms. This is a whole other presentation where I talk about the length of videos, but just keep in the back of your mind that you 90% of the time want all your videos to be under a minute long. Okay. That's kind of an advanced thing right now. I know you guys need me to get to the content calendaring, so we won't spend too much time talking about content creation, but just so you know, content creators is like the #1 growing job in marketing right now. So it is a huge, huge industry. All right, the last thing on engagement is not only asking for feedback, incorporating videos, but reward participation, right? You can run a contest, run a giveaway. If you don't know how, reach out to the SBDC. We can help you architect how to run a really simple giveaway for your audience. So keep that in mind. All right, here's some more tips for engagement. You want reoccurring content. One way to wrap your head around this, as you're back to your grid here of your Tic Tac Toe box, maybe you have a weekly podcast. Maybe you want to do a throwback Thursday or a Monday motivation or a Tuesday tip. Have consistency with whatever you're going to do, that your audience can rely on you and know that it's coming. Now you're going to say to me, Rach, but what about the fact that I can't remember or have the time every Monday to do this? Well, it doesn't matter, because in the next section, I'm going to talk to you about how you're going to do a month of social media content in advance. And that's really the goal. You're going to be a month ahead on your social media. And that is the goal. Okay. What does brand engagement look like? If you start doing all the things I just talked about, then you're going to have more likes, shares, retweets, pins, saved post. You're going to get more feedback, comments. You're going to get more sales. Okay. Average engagement. How do you know if it's good engagement? I want you to think about the fact that for every 100 followers, you should be getting 10 likes or pieces of engagement. That is the ballpark. Like, so if you have 1,000 followers and you do a post, you should get, or if you have 100 rather, and you do a post, you should get at least 10. That's like a good ballpark. All right, now let's talk about conversions. All right, so you're going to be creating content for social media. I want you to use that same social media content that you're going to be creating a month in advance in a monthly email newsletter. So that content that you just created for social media, that you took your valuable time to create, you're now going to use it in an email. So now you've used it not just once on social media, you've used it twice. You're going to use it in your newsletter. You also can use it in retargeting ads. Now, this is a more sophisticated media purchase, but it's something that down the road you should think that you want to add in. Okay. Conversions. Okay. So I want you to be thinking about your sales, you driving sales from social media, driving sales from your email newsletters, driving sales through your retargeting, and that's all how you're going to have more conversions. You should have incentives and discounts going all the time. You should easily have probably a free shipping. If you've got a product, right, you should have a free shipping offer. You should have it save 10% for new customers. You should have something related to a holiday, right? And then if you're a service provider, maybe you're offering a free consultation, right? Free 30 minutes, something, right? You're giving away some time, right? So there's always an incentive that you should be running to enhance and drive more customers in for your business. Okay. What would be a good app to add? Shopify for email newsletter. I'm going to just answer that one really quick. So your Shopify, you should be able to do emails directly out of there. There are different apps that integrate in with Shopify that you can actually use for automated ClickFunnels. So let's say like someone does a purchase on your website, you have to build a back-end ClickFunnel where that it triggers automatically. So like upon purchase, an email happens to thank them for their order. 2 days later, they get something. 3 days later, a week later, a month later, right? So you should be able to build in that ClickFunnels email program through Shopify, one of the apps. And I would also recommend adding in text messaging as another ClickFunnels that accompanies the emails. Okay. All right. Now, here we go. As you're monitoring growth of your sales, you're monitoring your growth of your followers and your engagement. You're also probably monitoring the competitors. You each have 2 or 3 primary competitors in your geography or in your industry. You probably have some that are more direct competitors, and then you have ones that are like best of class that maybe you don't like directly operate with, but you look at for inspiration and motivation. So keep an eye on what's happening in your industry, what's happening with the like marquee players, and what's happening with your direct competitors. Okay, so be monitoring what's going on and what those conversations are. This might also impact what you decide for content, what you decide for hashtags, who you want to affiliate with in terms of thought leaders. Like this all goes into it, right? There's all many things that go into making your social media actually work for you. Okay. When you're doing all of this, by the way, one of like the outcomes that you probably haven't thought of is you're also going to be seeing an increase in website traffic. So everybody needs to have a top operating website. That is just like a foundational piece. If you don't, then you need to build that and add it to your list. Okay. And you should be monitoring it. You should have Google My Business set up. You should have your Facebook pixel added to the back end of your website. I don't know what platforms you guys are all using for building your websites, but your website is a living, breathing organism. You should probably also have your social media feed automatically loading onto your website. So that all needs to be working together. What free app do you recommend to scheduling for Facebook and Instagram? We are going to get to that. And there are a few options. The best ones all cost money though. So let's talk about your content calendars right now. Like I said, you all want to be a month in advance. That is the goal. So right now it's March 16th. We run social media for like 30 different clients. All their April content is done by now. Okay. How did we do that? Well, we did everything that I just talked about. And let me break it down. A monthly content calendar, when you plan ahead, it lets you batch your work. You could sit down and be like, I'm going to carve out 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, and I'm going to write all my social media content for the month ahead. That means you have a library of photos and videos that you're pulling from. You have your, what do you call it? Your Tic Tac Toe box of the different buckets of services and products and key points that you want to talk about. You have your promotions all lined up for the month ahead. You know what holidays are the month ahead. The benefit of this is if you're working on your own, great. If you've got a team, if you're working a month ahead, this gives you time for proofreading. This gives you time for approvals, changes, right? This is all really important. You also have the time to make sure that this is on strategy and it's on brand and that your copy and visuals are all organized. So let's look at what one of these might look like. Here is an example of a homemade content calendar. You don't need a fancy software or subscribe to something. You can make this in Excel. You can make it in Google Sheets. You can whatever. If you outline the days of the week, in the month ahead, and then start filling in each day. And on average, and I'll talk about this in a couple slides, but everybody should be posting at least 5 days a week. There's no reason that you shouldn't. Like, I know that sounds like a lot, and you're like, Rach, hell, if I post once or twice a week, it's a win. I'm going to challenge you to try to up your number. The rookie numbers. Try to get up to 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, ultimately all the time. And when I say post, I'm not talking about just posts to your main page. I'm talking about reels. I'm also talking about stories. Like all this stuff matters. And right now, the algorithm favors reels. You're going to get thousands and thousands of views on a reel versus maybe only that 10% on a post. So it all needs to work together. Okay. you've got your content calendar and maybe you're doing this DIY, like you built it from scratch in Excel or in Google Sheets. Awesome. Good for you. And can you get the recording? Yes. Ashley, you can reach out to Nancy. She can get you the recording. All right. So content creation. You're looking at the competitors. You're finding out the most recent, most important hashtags, right? Hot topics, trends, products, services. Now you're like, well, Rach, I have a question. What if I do all my content for April and then something miraculous happens that I couldn't have predicted? So let's say this happens all the time. I'll tell you right now. I'm going to go on to TikTok today, right now. I don't know if you guys can still see me. And I'm going to see what's trending. All right. So there is a trend happening right now for hashtag when women win. Okay. I couldn't have known that a month ago, on March 16th, 1.3 billion people are going to be trending with the hashtag when women win. All right. This is great. I'm totally fine with it. I have posts that are scheduled that are happening today that I scheduled a month ago. That's like the meat and potatoes. It's done. It's great. Now, let's say I've decided, hey, I'm a woman-owned business. I'm going to capitalize on this hashtag that's trending today, but I don't want to do it for April. I want to do it today. Well, fine. So do a story, do a reel, do a second post of the day. Or maybe you're having a really busy day and you don't have time to look at the trending hashtags, then don't worry about it because you already have consistency built into your life, built into your schedule, built in for your business. So if you have time to get to it, then it just becomes gravy on top. It becomes a nice to have, not a need to have, because you've already taken care of that foundational pieces. All right. So, and you're like, well, what if I'm not a woman-owned business? Well, maybe you make products for women, or maybe you have someone who works for you that's a woman and you want to capitalize on that hashtag. There's also trending songs that are hot right now. Like hashtag smooth, like Nitro Pepsi. Okay, like maybe that works for your business, maybe it doesn't. There's always different things that are trending that you can't predict. So anyways, with a content calendar, you've got your foundation. Anything above of that is just a nice to have and it doesn't hurt. So that's why you can still make it in real time. Okay, we've got some questions. I'm going to make sure I answer those here. Dun, 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 dun. Post 5 times. Does that include a mix of stories and reels in addition to 5 feed posts? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Every post should also be a story. Now, if you don't know how to do this, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to stop share. That way it ensures that you guys can see me. Screen share. Was I not sharing this whole time? I must have. Okay, come on, Rachel. All right, if I wasn't sharing and I just went through all those slides, then sorry. But all right, hopefully I was sharing. All right, so I'm going to open my Instagram app and I'm going to go to a post that I did of myself. So on the bottom of the post, there's a heart, a little chat icon, and a paper airplane. I want you to click on your paper airplane. When you do that, it's going to invite you to post to your story. You are going to do this with every single post. So you add your post to your story, then you can add graphics, you can add links, you can add music, you can add whatever you want. But every post should also be a story. Okay, so that is a manual step that you're going to have to take. So you've got most of it automated, but this you're going to have to do manually every day. I like to do all my posts at 7 o'clock in the morning. I know routinely at 7 a.m. something is going to post, and then I'm going to take 2 minutes to go in and reshare it as a story. All right, next, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Hopefully you guys can see it. Okay, good. All right, original content. The majority of your content needs to help your audience, educate your audience, offer your audience something. 2/3 informational, 1/3 promotional, okay? Now, each post, I've seen people take up to 2 hours to do a post from start to finish. Those people drive me nuts. Think about everything as reward, like what is the value in that? How much value is it bringing to your business? I would rather see you sit down for 2 hours and write all the content for the month ahead and be done with it. Okay. So it's about quantity over quality. And I know that I don't say that with a lot of things, but in social media world, this is a like monster beast that is never going to be full. You're going to have to feed it forever. So you got to, the more you have out there, the better. You can supplement content. If you get into a bind and you've got like maybe a promotional partner or a, like, let's say you have let's go back to our pizza restaurant, right? Maybe next door to the pizza restaurant that you own is a dry cleaner. And you're like, I'm going to promote the dry cleaner because I think their stuff is awesome and they're going to promote me too. Okay, great. Work that in every once in a while as supplemental content or a story or something. Photos and videos. All right. So I have fresh content all the time. And people ask me, oh, are you just always camera ready? Do you have a photographer follow you around? No. I do 4 photo shoots a year and I get all my content in those 4 photo shoots. So that means I probably have like 30 different outfit changes at every photo shoot. I've got a great photographer, cost me a couple $100 4 times a year. And we do all the holidays, we do different locations, like, and we just get it done. So that way I have a library to pull from. So think about that. If you've got food, you should make sure you do have a library, a gallery of photos and videos that you can pull from. Photos are great. Video is better. Okay. Now, if you had all the time in the world and all the team like working for you, you could, for fun, think about, oh, I'm going to write special, unique content for Facebook versus LinkedIn versus Instagram, right? But we don't have that kind of time. So I know you guys don't have that time. So just write the same copy across all the platforms. But if you did have the time, here's how I would write differently per platform. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All right. All right. We've talked about this. No need to beat a dead horse. I talked about posting 5 to 7 times a day. Yeah, that's it. Or a week. Again, like in a perfect world, if you had a whole staff, and you were Toyota or something, this is what I would have you do. But let's just try to post every day. Okay. Now I want to talk about scheduling. And there was a great question. And it was which ones are free and which ones should you be using? Okay, here's a bunch of options. The SBDC always will give you at least three options. You need to find which platform is right for you. Now, Facebook Creator Studio is free and it will allow you to schedule on Instagram and on Facebook, only those 2 platforms. And if that fits your budget and that fits your social media need, then Facebook Creator Studio is for you. Google it. It's connected to your account. But there's one important trick that I have to show you. If you are going to use Facebook Creator Studio, then you need to know this. Facebook, and I'll show you Creator Studio. Otherwise, it's going to drive you nuts. Okay, so I'm going to reshare my screen here. That's it. Okay. So right here, this is what Facebook Creator Studio looks like. There's another way to get into it through Facebook Business Manager. Either way, it's fine, whatever you're comfortable with. At the very top, this is the thing you need to pay attention to. Right now, the Facebook is illuminated in the blue. There's also an Instagram right here. Don't build it with the Facebook illuminated. Build it with the Instagram illuminated. If you build it in Instagram, you can schedule it to go onto Facebook at the same time. But if you build it in Facebook, you can't schedule it to go on Instagram, and you'll have to do it separate and twice and make double the work for yourself. So make sure you're illuminated up here at the top with Instagram. And then there's a button along the way on the journey as you're walking through the steps that lets you simultaneously put it on Facebook. So do that if you're going to go with Facebook Creator Studio. The other one that is not on this list that is new that I am personally really enjoying right now is this one. I'm going to show it to you. It's called Sked. It's super user-friendly. The price point is relatively low. It competes with like Sprout and those other like more well-known platforms. One of the things I really like about this is if you have to share it with other people for approval, there's an ability to send a link to them where they actually, it gamifies it, where they get to like approve or reject, like a little game. It's just kind of fun. So that's another one to look at in addition to the more established tools that are on this list. So if you want a one-on-one session and you want me to deep dive with you and walk you through how to use any of these, perfectly happy to do that too. So you just would reach out to Nancy. I think that would answer our question. Okay, the other thing, so there's social media publishing and scheduling, and then there's social media listening. If you wanted to do listening, that would be about sentiment. Like, what are people saying about your brand, your industry, your competitors? You can do the manual legwork to go on and like see what they're saying, or you could purchase a listening tool. In my experience, if you own a small business and you're wearing all the different hats, you don't have time to sit around and spend time doing this. But hey, like as your business grows, this would be a aspirational place to get to. But I want you to know that it's there, and I want you to know that it's different than publishing. Okay, let's talk about money. Got to talk about money. I don't care if you have $1 or you have $1,000 or you have $100,000 to spend on marketing. This is how you divide that dollar or that $100 up. Okay, you're going to want some money in paid display. You're going to want some in social, some in traditional, some in email. And then think about the fact that you're allocating a part of this is actually the time to build it. Maybe you want to bring on an intern, or maybe you want to pay someone minimum wage to write your content for you. Or maybe you're thinking that you're going to do it yourself. Either way, like bake in that time as part of your budget too, right? Once you're posting consistently, then it's time to add in some paid efforts. Maybe you're paying to grow your audience. Maybe you're paying for ads to sell your e-commerce products, whatever it may be. But like, think about the whole ecosystem and how it all works together. We're not talking about email today, but that's another thing that you should be thinking about. Are you using MailChimp? Are you using the email program through Shopify? Are you using the Squarespace email program? Are you doing ClickFunnels? How does that complement all your efforts and work together? So here's your budget breakdown. You want to go a little bit further if you need like a budget template, so that you need to maybe like take this to your higher ups. Like, here's a form template that you can use, whatever works for you. Just wanted to kind of get the wheels churning. Final thoughts. Okay. If you haven't already set up your Google Analytics, it's free. You should be tracking on there, not only like the people that are going to your website, but when you fill out Google Analytics, you can fill out your services, you can fill out your products. And when you're posting to Instagram, to Facebook, to TikTok, wherever you're posting, you should also be posting your social to Google. It's another platform that you should be putting things out, and it's going to help with your SEO. It's going to help with your search results. It's going to help drive more traffic. Take baseline analytics, add to your bullet point list. Today, how many followers do you have? And on average, approximately how many likes do you get per post? That way, 6 months from now, you can look back and you'd be like, yes, I moved the needle. Or you're going to look back and be like, well, I gave a half-ditched effort. Or you can say that you did amazing. Either way, today, draw that line in the sand, figure out what your baseline analytics are today. I hear this next one as a problem all the time. People are like, oh, I don't know what my login is. Well, why not? Okay, you need to know what your login is. And if you don't have ownership because you told somebody else to do it, or you had a friend of a friend, or your like distant relative do it for you, you need to be the owner of all your passwords, and you need to know how to log into all your platforms. Like, that's on you. It's very important. Make sure you know what platforms you're going to use, which tools you need, Start your content creation. There is no time like the present. Just get started. And if you're not sure, meet with me, meet with someone from the SBDC. We can help you get this going. Sometimes getting started is the hardest part. So today is your day. This is the sign you've been waiting for. Get going. More questions. Does a VA usually work out okay for marketing assistant? A VA, like a virtual assistant? I wouldn't trust my content creation to a virtual assistant because they don't know, nobody knows your business as well as you know your business. And this is not something that you can just pawn off to somebody. You need to do it personally or have someone work for you that actually cares enough to do it right. It's going to make a difference. If your content is authentic and resonates with people, it's going to do better than if it's generic and it's just been like sourced out to some overseas VA that's like, I'm going to write something generic with no sparkle or no pizzazz or no on brand about your business. So no, I don't recommend it. So there you go. Post to Google. Yeah, you absolutely post to Google. So let's say you're going to use one of the social media scheduling softwares like Sprout. I'm going to go back to this list here. Or Hootsuite or Sked. You can actually load up Google in there and have it auto post to Google as well. So I don't know why everybody misses that. Probably because it's not like an interactive platform that everyone's like on, but it's going to absolutely help with your search results. So yeah, you should be posting to Google. All your products, if you're an e-commerce product, those should be available for purchase on Google too. I'm going to go back through our questions. We got 9 minutes left. Ask me anything you want. We are technically at the end of our slides. I'm going to put up the contact information here. You can talk to Nancy, but throw in the questions. Okay. Best time to post. Excellent question. Okay. Joseph, what's your business? And while I'm waiting for Joseph to answer that, I'm going to refer to Ashley's question. Oh,
we're a flower shop.
Oh, your flower shop.
Yeah.
I love it. Flowers. Everyone loves flowers. Yeah. You guys, you should probably be posting every day, by the way. And I imagine you guys are busy early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
I would post first thing every morning, like as the day gets going, because that's when people are like tacking off their to-do list items, or maybe they're like, oh shit, it's my anniversary tonight, or oh, it's my wife's birthday later today. Crap, I haven't done anything about that yet, right? So I would post every morning for you guys. But every business is different. If you're a restaurant, you should be posting in the afternoon, right? If you're a nightclub, you should be posting in the evening. Like every business has, the right time for them. Pinterest. If you're an e-commerce product, you should be on Pinterest. You should be on Etsy. Like no question. That's absolutely something you should do. If you're a service provider, like you're a lawyer or something, yeah, probably doesn't matter. You don't need to be on Pinterest. Like, don't worry about that. Question from Fatima. What content calendaring tool do you recommend using if you are collaborating with a small in-house marketing team? So your small in-house marketing team, I would ask them to present to you 2 or 3 options for your consideration. You should look at them based on how much they cost and which one you're the most comfortable with. Honestly, there are a lot of good ones out there, but you have to find the one that you're the most comfortable working in. So maybe it's Sked, maybe it's Sprout, whatever it is for you. Like a lot of them offer like free trials, 7 days, 10 days, like do that and then see which one you like. You also made a reference to Linktree. Okay. So if you go with, all right, so everyone gets, I'm going to stop my share and switch over here to this. All right, I'm going to show you 2 things. Perfect question. Good time for this. Screen share, Instagram. Okay. So on every, we're going to look at my page. By the way, you guys should all follow me and like, we should keep up. So down here, everyone gets one link in their bio. So I have a link tree right here. So I'm going to click on that and it's going to take you to this page that I've curated. So it's got all my links to all my different businesses, links to the companies that I am affiliate with, my YouTube channel, my podcast, interviews that I've given. It's all here. So this is a link tree versus just putting one link to one website. It allows me to have multiple, multiple links. Now, if you are set up with a company like Sked, for instance, and you're paying for Sked, you're also going to get a link in bio option from them that lets you create something like this. So you don't have to pay for Linktree and Sked. You could just pay for Sked and get this functionality. And it still lets you customize it and look, on brand for you and your business. So we'll go back to Instagram here. If we look to my company, my marketing company, we have a Sked link here. And if I click on that, it's going to show you the things that are important to our company, our website, our blog, our podcast. We give free desktop calendars that are designed every month that are motivational. Those are there. Google review form, our clutch profile, it's all there. So that's how that would work. I think Linktree offers a free version, but then you are stuck with like their colors and it's not on brand. So like I said, you want to be on brand. I saw another chat come in. Where did it go? With a question somewhere. Here we go. Dun, 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 3 minutes left. Those categories that you have. So I just decided which categories worked for me. Like when you're building out your link tree, you can just pick what you want those to be for your business. Okay, good. I'm glad that answered your question. All right, you guys, we've got a couple minutes. Any other questions? Anything you desperately want to know? Tic Tac Toe buckets. Yeah. I'll go back to that visual here. I just quickly wrote this up. Here are some examples. And I want you to think that underneath each big bucket here, you've got bullet points of hundreds of things underneath that could be relevant to each bucket. This is just like the overarching 50,000 foot view. And you're going to use that to create your content calendar. I'm going to take our last 2 minutes and show you something. I know I showed you an example of a content calendar in like Excel, right? That I had like DIY'd, but I'm going to log in and show you how that works in a scheduling platform. So for instance, and I'll share screen with you guys in a second so you can see this. But it's really great to build in the platform. So let's say I'm going to pick a client here. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see this. So here's Sked, and here is the month of March. And here are all the posts that are scheduled for a company called Lynx. It's a bourbon. Okay, so these are the Instagram posts. Now over here on the right, I can also click to see which ones are going to be on Facebook and then which ones are going to be on Google. And then it shows which ones are set up. Now these were all scheduled last month. And these are the dates and times that they're going to come out. So you can click on a box, add a post. You pick which platforms you want it to go on. You add your photos or videos here, and then you write your captions. You can even put your first comment. Your hashtags would go in here with your caption. And then if you had a URL that you wanted to send people to, you would put that here too. So it's all built in for you. It's like filling in a worksheet for every day that you want to post. So You can do it the old fashioned way in an Excel doc. You can do it in a publishing platform. You've got options. Again, you just have to pick which one works best for you. Okay. You guys, we are out of time. The DIY Excel template. When you talk to Nancy about getting the deck from today, you'll have access to that, or schedule a session and we can customize an Excel document for you that's going to work for your business specifically. So, okay, you guys, it's been fun. Appreciate your time. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in one of the next ones. Thank you.